I was just on a YouTube the other day, or let's try that again. Hello, welcome to Galloway Lights. I was just watching Phil, the Bee Man, on YouTube yesterday. He was doing a combine of a couple of weak colonies to a couple strong colonies with some paper and a queen excluder. And I always thought that when you did that, you always had to have 3/4 inch gap between the two colonies with the two queens, and so that they wouldn't fight and kill each other. But apparently, when I was on the live chat last night with one of the lives, I found out from the commenters that apparently this works. So I'm gonna give it a shot, but I'm gonna step it one up. I'm gonna do several colonies, and I'm gonna do the glass. So stick around, and I'll show you how it works.
And I've never tried this before, so I have no idea if it's going to work or not. But what I wanted to do was double these up before I put them back in the shed. So I've already prepared two here. I've got a strong hive underneath, sheet of paper, a queen excluder, and then a weak hive. And then because that's all loose and slippery, the paper and the excluder don't make a really good bond, and we got to forklift this back into the shed. I put a strap around it so everything is going to stay nice and snug.
It's about 62 degrees out today, and I just felt a couple raindrops. So I don't know if it's going to be a good day or not. So this is one of my glass colonies. I made it out of glass so I could watch it all winter long, all summer long, without a lot of effort, without bothering the bees a whole lot. I have some sugar water on the top. They're not touching it one bit. I got some fondant that was made of sugar, water, and a little bit of vinegar, and they seem to be chowing it down. Let me show you. So this is what they look like. Over here we've got some marshmallow chicks made for Christmas, so they were with red peppermint candy in there. We've got some of our homemade fondant and sugar, 5 parts sugar to 1 part water, and a little bit of vinegar just to keep it healthy. And they totally devoured this one. And here's another one that devoured. So they're on their third bunch of fondant. And I tried some bread flour. They're not touching it. So this is what I would call my stronger colony. So we're going to put this one on the bottom. I'm going to remove this feeder shim. And we're going to take away their food. So they might not be happy. Let's give them a little smoke just to get them used to this. All right, going to take your food. Sorry, guys. Or ladies. You can see how they're trapped in this little hole here. That's how they're getting in and out of that fondant. See if we got 2 hive beetles. Let's see if we can open this up a little bit more so they can come out. There we go. Now they're not trapped. We'll set this off to the side. We'll get rid of our little chicks. Looks like they ate one completely and they're half the other one. So for a base, we're going to see how this colony is doing. So far, we got a little bit of pollen in there. I don't know if it's from this colony or not because I did add some stuff and food from other colonies. But this is what's in there at the moment. This is just a reference, and so we can have an idea how they do during the winter month or during the summer months with this experiment. So it looks like there's not much of anything in here. Looks like a little bit of nectar right here in the top. This one looks pretty dry. So this is the first of our nectar. They're really bringing that in. I don't know if that's from the fondant or if that's from out there in the flowers that they've found or not. Let's see. Looks like there's a little bit of a bald spot here, right in here. That's nectar. We got a little bit of a brood patch right here. This is your brood. Uh, and there's a queen over here. She's not marked. This frame is pretty much all brood. Same on this side. So that's 2 frames of brood. Okay, so that's now 3 frames of brood. That one's pretty solid on the whole thing. Like a sheet of brood. Let's see if you can see that. One big sheet. Now I see a couple of uncapped cells. I guess you call them bald brood. And this is the outside frame. Looks like a bunch of nectar. And the side that I see on the glass, a bunch of pollen. So that's the reference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I got 2 more frames. I had quite a few colonies that died out. So I've got some resources. I'm going to stick this on the outside and try and fill up this box. Here's another one. I got it from another dead out. I'm going to put this on the outside, and that should complete this box. See if we can squeeze this in here. It's a little tight. All right, so that'll complete the box. So now to make this work, we're going to put a piece of paper on here. I'm going to put in a clean excluder. That should keep the 2 colonies separate for a moment. As they get used to each other, they'll break through this. We'll give them a couple slots. Let's see, here and here. Just help them get going. So this will be my bottom colony that's not that strong. They looks like they took out some of the sugar water. Let's see how they look. All right, so this colony's got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 frames of bees, and I just got stung. Got another one wanting to sting me. All right. I want to just show you what this colony looks like before I get started. See if we can take one of these empty frames out of this outside. Let's get into the real cluster. So as you can see, you got not much food at all. I just felt a raindrop. Kind of empty. And there's the entire cluster. Right in here. Very small. So this is frame 2 of the cluster. That looks a little bit more promising. There's your queen. She's not marked. And that's the other side of the cluster. In frame 3, we have maybe 3 cells. That's it. The cluster is only on 2 frames. So this is going to be the second box up. So we'll place this one on right on top of the other. And they should get to know each other. Now we're going to put another queen excluder on top of here with some paper. That way they slowly get used to each other. Hopefully they won't fight as much. We won't have as many losses. We'll do the same as we did the other ones. Do a couple slots here. Get them started. There's the third box. They're not really doing the sugar water at all. This is 2 inches of insulation all around the box. I wanted to see if they did any better in the winter months with that configuration. As you can see, there's 2 frames of bees. So I don't think they did a whole lot better. Let's see if I can get this over here. I probably should smoke them before I get started. So as for reference, we got a bunch of capped honey. We got some pollen. Got a little cluster of brood. Some more brood on the other side. In the third frame, we've got a queen here, small bit of brood, and some food on the other side. Did I just knock the queen off? Nope, she's still in there. All right, so that's what the third box is going to look like. We'll put this extra honey back in there. That'll complete this box. But I'm going to convert this to glass. So this is going to be the glass box. That way I can observe how they're doing on this third level. Let me go get the bees. So we'll start with the frame that we couldn't get in there. That's the honey. You can see this is a little tight. I'm finding out when you make your boxes, precision is necessary. Otherwise, equipment doesn't work from one box to another. And sometimes the bees even mess up your precision with all their propolis and their wax and the comb. All right, so now the rest of this is just sugar or honey. And this is actually a string that had some peppermint peppermint extract on it. And I was trying to see if that would help get rid of some of the hive beetles. The rest of these are just empty frames. All right, now the moment of truth. Can we get the last one in there? Yep. All right, so now I'm going to do another piece of paper and a queen excluder. Go get the next one. So this is our last victim. This is going to be the top box. This is also 2-inch insulation. This is just foam with some silver tape to hold it together. And this box is the iWave. iWave. It's got a little bit of negative ions to try and keep the colony a little cleaner. They're not doing anything with the bread flour. Looks like they've cleaned up 2 bags of fondant. It looks like they're working on their third. So as a reference, we'll show you what this colony looks like before we start. This has also got my plastic 3D printed comb. We've got a lot of nectar in here. Looks like we got maybe 2 frames of bees. Let's see what they are doing in here. Looks like a bunch of little babies in there. Kind of dry and empty on that side. I'm putting this right. I think I flipped it around. The second part of the brood nest looks like they've got a bunch of brood there. And I don't know, can you see that queen? Do I need to point her out right there? All right. And we got a bunch of brood on the back side. Looks like they might be over in a third frame. Let's see how that one looks. Third frame looks like a bunch of pollen and some more nectar that they got stored. And it's hard to show you unless the light hits just the right angle. All right, let's fill this one out. I got some more dead out food. Looks like nothing on the outside there. Got some more dead out food, nothing on the outside. Let's put this all the way on the other side. We'll put the We'll put the honey on the outside. All right, see if we can get this all in there. There we go. We'll take off our insulation and we'll move this one. All right, let's get rid of this extra paper here. There we go. Now we're going to use some astrofoil, bubble wrap, double bubble. We got some Velcro. Let's try and hold this together. We're going to give them back some of this fondant. Here's some that's more sugarized, and they're not really touching that. Here's their marshmallows. Here's their other fondant. We'll get this really open for them so they can really get to it. Put on our feeder shim. We'll put on the glass of the iWave. The plug underneath the lid. That way she stays nice and dry. Put our cover on. Strap this whole mess down. That way it don't fall over. Well, that should do it for this time. Check later and we'll see whether this works or doesn't. Thanks for watching Galloway Lights.